Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's good, Knicks Nation? Salute. Tonight, the Knicks were home and faced off against the Miami Heat. This was the third game of group play, and the Knicks needed to win to keep their in-season tournament hopes alive. From the get-go, this game was a tight one, but even with all the turnovers to begin, the Knicks were able to match the Heat's physicality and stay in it. By the half, the Knicks were up 1 thanks to a Quentin Grimes 3. But of course, this wouldn't be New York Knicks basketball without a third quarter of doom. And just when all things seemed bleak, when the Knicks were down by as many as 21 points, the Knicks' second unit, led by none other than Immanuel Quickley. That's right, Immanuel Quickley. Put respect on that man's name. He would make a roaring comeback and bring this team within 8. And then what would happen? What would happen next? Of course, Jalen Brunson would have to come back in, right? AKA the closer, to take this game home, which he did. The Knicks would hang on to win 100-98 to stay alive for the in-season tournament. And all they had to do was just score 29 points in the fourth quarter to the Heat's 11 to make it all possible. But let's discuss all of that here and get your takes and reactions to this Knicks stunning of this dreaded Heat's team. Welcome to KFTV Post Game Live. I'm your host tonight, Alex Gutierrez, aka the Tradacaster. With me on the other side is none other than KnicksFanTV.com's very own Jeffrey Campbell. Tonight we're only taking calls by the Discord, so make sure to download the app. TM, if you're so gracious, please drop it into the chat. And remember to support our sponsors, BetUS, the official sportsbook of KFTV for the 2023-24 NBA season, and Manscaped. Woo! Let's go. Let's freaking go. I don't want to see this Miami Heat team on my court. Get them out of here. How you feeling, Jeff? Dude, how you feeling, man?
Unbelievable. At no point when the third quarter started did I think we had a chance to pull that out. Our starters were lifeless. They were playing with no energy. We were turning the ball over, which was a theme for most of the game. But somehow, some way, we figured out how to manufacture buckets. I thought the Heat did a really good job of trying to get the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands. They played kind of like a light press on him. They didn't want him bringing the ball up. They know that he's a rhythm guy. And they doubled Julius in the post for some reason, whether it was our spacing or just his decision-making. We couldn't figure out how to find open guys. But like you said, Alex, Immanuel Quickley led this charge back, brought us back into the fold, and then Jalen Brunson closed it. Honestly, man, one of the best games I've seen, one of the most unlikely victories that I think I've ever watched, and this was a gut check victory, man, and it says a lot about the core and the identity of what this team is.
Jeff, this team, the Knicks had to face a Miami Heat team that had won 9 of their last 10 games. This Knicks team had to face off against a Heat team that eliminated them in the Eastern Conference semifinals last season. This is the same Heat team that we have beef with because Pat Riley decided to take the Knicks blueprint and give it to the Miami Heat and create what is now known as Heat culture. No. That's Knicks culture, okay? They just acquiesced thanks to one Pat Riley, okay? There's a lot of history. There's a lot of background going into this game. And the fact that the Knicks were able to hold on, come back, keep their in-season tournament hopes alive, you don't think that this Knicks team had something? You don't think that was bulletin board material? I was ready for this. And look, you could see it, you could feel it. Jalen Brunson wasn't going to let them get the L. Immanuel Quickley wasn't going to let them get the L. RJ Barrett came up big down the stretch too. We had some solid play. Josh Hart, come on, man. This game, there's obviously only 2 game balls I have to give out, which is going to be Jalen Brunson and Immanuel Quickley. But look, the fact that you had in the second half Immanuel Quickley dropping 20. He dropped 14 points. He dropped 14 points in the second half, roaring from 3, man. He was the second unit was the spark that we needed for this team to get back into it. And I thought Tom Thibodeau should have made a change sooner in the third quarter when our team was lifeless. You had Miami go on a 19-0 run? They went on a 19-0 run, and Tom Thibodeau doesn't have any answer. But what happens? As soon as it gets down to 4-some-odd minutes left, second unit comes in. They bring the energy. They bring the hustle. You have Hartenstein getting blocks. You have Josh Hart grabbing boards, pushing out in transition. You have Quickley drilling threes. You have Dante knocking down his sole 3 tonight, being wide open. This is what I want to see, man. This game right here, this is the win of the season, okay? Clippers game was the win of the season. No. This game is the win of the season. Heat are right now one of the top teams in the East. Knicks come in here, get a good quality win. I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped for this game just because what I just witnessed tonight. To come back down 21 points in the second half and keep your hopes alive, I'm loving it. I'm getting even more hype for the in-season tournament. I was already a big supporter of it. This took the cake for me, man. Especially against a rival like the Miami Heat. I love it. Love it.
Think about this too. First off, we protect home court, which has been a little bit difficult for us this year. You mentioned the rivalry against the Heat. Of course, this was you circle this on the calendar considering last year, even without. But we completed most of this comeback without Mitch, right? Mitchell Robinson has been one of our best players. You could argue maybe the best player since the start of the season. And we completed most of this comeback without him, which really speaks to the depth of our team. Ihart, like you said, getting rebounds, getting blocks. Not super great offensively. Had a couple nice passes here and there, but I just can't. It just speaks so much to the identity of this team that they're able to engineer this comeback. I mean, the Heat didn't do themselves any favors. They shot a really poor percentage. I think it was like 37% from the field. It was like 27% from three. And if we're being 100% honest, they missed a lot of open shots in the first half that I thought could have really stretched this lead out quite a bit. But I mean, again, to come back from whatever it was down the 19-0 run, just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
And look, this is how much of an unbelievable night it is. Breaking news, everybody, if you're tuning in live, okay? And for the people who listen to the podcast or the replay game for tomorrow, breaking news right now. CP finally hits a free throw in Madison Square Garden. Tonight is quite the night. I mean, we're making history over here right now. Holy cow. In-season tournament. Knicks still alive. They're 2-1. Jalen Brunson killing it for in-season tournament play. You have CP hitting a free throw. This is amazing. Amazing stuff. We got to start popping bottles for what we got going on right now. This is
Alex,
just incredible.
Are you sure he hit it from the line or he didn't move in a little bit? I might need to see the videotape.
I need to see video evidence. I mean, TM is the one saying that CP hit the free throw. So, I'm just like, what's going on here? I guess CP just needs an orange basketball court in order to get things, in order to make his shots. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows what needs to happen? But TM said we'll have the video out soon. Okay, Jeff, let's get into this game though. Let's break it down. Let's break it down player by player. I guess I got to start off with just Emmanuel quickly because this is the guy who was the catalyst for turning it all around. Emmanuel quickly, man, the guy who did not get an extension to start the season, but has been showing his worth so far during the regular season to begin. And look, like I said, this guy had 14 points in the second half. He shot 4 for 7 from downtown, 5 from 11 from the field. He got 2 boards, 1 assist. All right, and he got 1 block. I mean, Quickly's playmaking wasn't necessarily the thing on display tonight. We needed his scoring because nobody else was doing it in the second half. I mean, Julius Randle struggled. You had obviously the first half struggles from the team, but Emmanuel Quickly, man, tonight was that dude, and as Brunson would call him, Emmanuel. All right, this is where you look at him like this is why he was in the running for 6th man of the year last year, and you can see his game's just even getting better. I mean, the mid-range turnaround jumper from him, man, is something that has just been so impressive that he added to his game, and the poise, the level he's able to attack, and even though his playmaking wasn't the thing that was on display tonight, his composure just when he's getting double teamed and where they're trying to blitz him and he's able to get it to either Brunson or Rand or whoever, that's the stuff that you see that's true player development from Emmanuel Quickly. I'm just impressed with what he's been doing so far to begin this season, and he had a great game tonight.
Yeah, and the other thing is if and listen, I'm not gonna kill Jalen Brunson too much. He was a massive part of the reason that we won. But something that's frustrated me about him this year And you just talked about this area that quickly has kind of developed. Brunson has missed Mitch on a couple of lobs, and there's been some times where Mitch is literally standing in the paint by himself, and either Brunson can't see over the guys that are guarding him in the pick and roll or whatever it is. But IQ, I do think, has been a little bit quicker in processing some of those defensive coverages and making the right pass. And if we're being fair, and me, I'm a Tibbs guy, I'm a Julius guy, but I got to keep it 100. Tibbs, I don't think Tibbs did a great job tonight. I think he should have went to quickly much earlier in the game. The Grimes minutes have been rough, and I know that he gives you a lot on defense, but you know, you're playing Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart and Quickly played about 25 minutes tonight. And now I do think Hart overall had a decent game. He had some really great deflections. He rebounded well. He hit, I think, one or two threes. And at least on some of the ones that he was open on, he took them instead of just holding the ball and passing it off. But Quickly's got to get some of these minutes that other guys are getting because of what he brings to the floor. And even if he's struggling with shooting, he's a really good defender. So you're not losing much on that end. And he showed it tonight, man. I mean, he really brought the full package, like you said. The turnaround mid-range, the floater was there, threes in transition, off the dribble, pull up. He was magnificent.
Absolutely. And this is, you ask for Quickly to get more minutes, and I'm in agreement with you because, you know, I like that he comes off the bench and he leads that second unit because that's when he gets his time to shine, right? I know people are asking for him to be in that starting rotation. I don't necessarily think that would be great for him. Like, he was good as a starter last year, filling in for somebody who was down and injured. But to have that freedom to get that ultimate green white with that second unit, that's how he's able to get into rhythm. And I figured that I would think that in a starting unit with Randall and Brunson, who need to get the lion's shares of the touches and the shots up in that unit, it wouldn't really help Quickly to be in that starting rotation. But I am in agreement with you that he does need to get more minutes. And this is where you're going to look at, like, you talk about Grimes and how he's just struggling, but it's also, you look at Dante DiVincenzo tonight, right? And it's like, that's 15 minutes that he gets, 15, 18 minutes. That's those Obi minutes from last season, right?
Right.
And it's how impactful is he being in those minutes, and is he deserving of those minutes? And could you have given those to Quickly, and stuff like that? How do you manage all these other minutes and to help other players get into rhythm? Maybe Grimes, he can get into more of those Dante minutes to help him get into rhythm, because keep in mind, he was getting over 30 some odd minutes before Josh Hart got here last year, and he was just doing just fine. And he still did just fine when Josh Hart got here. But now you add another guard to the rotation, and you start to have to figure out that balancing act of who plays tonight, who doesn't. Now, in Tibbs' favor, he chose Quickly tonight. That was the right guy to close with. Tibbs says he's a big, quick guy. Obviously, I think most of Knicks Nation loves Quickly just because of how much of a gamer he is, and like that ice in his vein mentality that he has as well. But for Quickly to get more minutes, I'm just seeing it will be difficult on a night-to-night basis still, just because of the guard rotation that we have. And so how does Tibbs figure that out? We see it through a game-to-game basis. It's not always great, but was as much as Dante is a good player, I think he's still a good value to the Knicks. I think it's just you're going to see this picking and pulling from all these different angles, because even when you watch against the Hornets, right, Dante was able to go off, but it's still, you're taken away from Quickly, even though he didn't have it going that night. So it'll be interesting, man. It'll be interesting to see how he gets a lot of his minutes. So moving along, man, another play that we got to get into, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, man, tonight. Jalen Brunson let me just pull up the stat sheet as my computer decides to lag on me. Jalen Brunson had 24 points, went 10 of 16 from the field, efficient shooting night, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, only hit 1 3-pointer tonight. Got you 3 boards, 3 assists, only had 2 turnovers. Jalen Brunson, man, wow. This dude came in, like I said, in the fourth quarter and just decided to get downhill, be physical, use his craftiness to punish the Heat defense, and he certainly did that with a couple of and ones, floaters, mid-range jumpers, you name it. He did it all, man, in the fourth quarter where it mattered the most in order to help this Knicks team win. What did you think about Jalen Brunson tonight?
I love Jalen Brunson, and this is where I'm going to start with Brunson. So he pulled the Jimmy Butler tonight, and I'm going to explain what I mean. So Jimmy Butler has a habit of doing this. I saw this in the playoffs. It honestly annoys me quite a bit, but whatever. Jimmy Butler will get hit, he'll twist an ankle or something like that, and all of a sudden it's like doom is gloom. Oh, there's no way he could play through this. Oh, he's limping. They've got to call a timeout. Guess what? Jimmy Jimmy Butler plays through it, right? So Brunson takes that hard hit from Adebayo, and his shoulder is hurting. And I knew right away that he was going to be all right. But what he did, and I thought was smart, and now I can't prove this, but, I just have a feeling. He gets the ball, the next possession, the Knicks possession coming down. He gets the ball coming down, and he starts kind of wincing in pain, and he's like shaking his arm out, and Richardson is on him. And honestly, Richardson did a really good job guarding him all night. I thought he frustrated him. He got really into him, was on his body all night, gave him no room to operate, and Brunson still had a really good game. But he kind of deked Richardson into thinking that maybe he was going to pass off the ball or not really, get into his full offensive swing of things, and he just hit him quick with a couple of in and out dribbles and went straight to the lane. And he's just so heady with stuff like that, man. Like, he does stuff like that a lot, and I think it's something that, unless you've been watching basketball for a long time or just playing basketball, you don't see it. But he's all about that. And I love that move. He hit Jimmy Butler with a nice little elbow, pull back mid-range jumper. And you could tell that he wanted this game. I think most of the Knicks, all of the Knicks really wanted this game. But Brunson really showed it with his play. And I think, from a national standpoint, you've got to start looking at Brunson as one of the big names in this league, because not only can he pour it in from a points perspective, but he's clutch as hell, man. I mean, the free throws that he hit down the stretch, that's another thing. I was worried that, maybe some of those free throws were going to go to Randall. And I love Randall. I really do. And this was not his night at all. But I was particularly worried that maybe he would get put on the line, and we know the history that he's been rough in the clutch with the free throws. Can't lie about that. Brunson missed one, but overall he was really clutch, and just an unbelievable game from him. And you look at the reason we won, a big part of it is going to be due to him.
Brunson had 8 points in the fourth quarter to help. Next to RJ's 8 points in the eighth quarter. Next to Quickly's 8 points. I mean, in the fourth quarter. I'm saying eighth quarter. Sheesh. Feels like 8 quarters the way this game goes sometimes. 8 points in the fourth quarter for Brunson. 8 points for RJ Barrett in the fourth, and as well as Emmanuel Quickly. But Brunson, eight points, were very efficient. 3 of 4 from the field. Shot 75%. And made 2 of his 4 free throws. Look, the things that Brunson can do, it's very hard to like quantify how important it is, because you just look at the box score. If you just look at the box score, you're like, okay, he had a solid game. But then when you watch the game and you watch the film and see how it plays, and you see where it matters most, as you talked about in the fourth quarter, how clutch he is. That's what separates him, man, and that's really where stars go to superstars, right? And especially in the playoffs, is how clutch can you be? How reliable can you be in the big spot with the spotlight on you? And the spotlight keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's like he's fine. He's so comfortable in it, man. He does not waver. He is cool, calm, and collected. I love that, how he leads his team. And you see how, for parts of this game, people were holding their heads down, whether it was Mitch, Randall, Brunson. You could see that he was just like, he was frustrated, but he wanted to channel that energy to say, you know what, we're going to beat this team.
Right.
And that's what we're going to do. And for me to see that in a leader, to see that in this type of player, Knicks Nation, we got to get out there and vote for this guy, because it's going to be tough with Halliburton, okay? I know people are like, oh, there's Knicks fans like, oh, wish we had Halliburton. I get that. I hear you. But, and what he's doing this season, Halliburton, is incredible. The numbers that he's putting up is insane. So Brunson's going to have a difficult time being a starter, so you got to make sure you go out there and vote. We got to vote for this guy in because what he's doing right now, how he showed up, impressive. And the thing that I love, Jeff, the thing that I love tonight is that it looks like he's back in rhythm where he's finishing his shots around the rim, the
Right.
floaters, the mid-range, because those were the shots that were going in and out, man. Those were the shots that were not dropping. He's knocking down three-pointers at a high clip. At a high clip and an efficient rate. He's close to like 50%, if not that, right now. But his mid-range game, the close range, that was the stuff that was struggling. And to see that that's falling against a good Heat defense, that gives me confidence that I think he's past that hole. Well, maybe FIBA gave him some tired legs. He's back out here. He's hooping. He's ready to go, man. That's my point guard. That's my point guard. That's all I got to say. Oh, my goodness. Woo, salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in right now. This is KFTV Postgame Live. The New York Knicks defeated our foe, the Miami Heat, 100-98. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Make sure to share these links to the channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to download the app, the Discord app, so that way you can call to get your takes in. We got some people on the Discord right now. We're gonna load that up and hear some of your takes. CP is on the way, everybody. CP is on the way. He will get back to his hotel so he can give you his takes from the game and explain what he did. I'm gonna have to ask CP what he did to hit that free throw today, man. You know, there's some questions. There's some questions. I need answers to how CP hit the free throw today. I didn't see it. Apparently, there's footage out there. TM said it's in the works, but we need that footage. I need to ask CP some questions. But before we get to the Discord, Jeff, another guy I got to talk about is RJ Barrett. This guy was struggling in the last two games. He struggled against the Hornets. He just came back from an illness. You just saw him against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Look, this guy didn't have it going against Minnesota. They're a really good team. Their defense is just top tier right now, a legit team. Even though I think the Kings defeated them tonight, which is, yeah, Kings right now defeated the Timberwolves 124-111. So let that be known to how good the Kings are also. But you saw him that he struggled these two games. Started off a little rough to begin this game, but the fourth quarter, like I said, you gave you 8 points, came back around. Seems like he's getting back into a rhythm. What were your thoughts on RJ's game tonight?
I thought RJ played well. This is what I saw, especially in the third quarter. You know, Brunson and Randall were just trading shot attempts, and we had no offensive rhythm. We had no offensive flow. Now, I'm not going to try and make excuses for RJ. I think as a guy that is clearly the third guy on this team, but someone who is ascended a little bit, he's got to be a bit more aggressive and maybe demanding touches, or, you know, when he does get the ball, being a little bit more aggressive. I do like playmaking RJ as well. Of course, I want him to see the game and make the easy pass and whatever the game tells him to do. But you actually started to see when we featured RJ more, we cut into this lead. And I thought he was good in terms of picking the shots, where to go from. And Tibbs talked about something after the Hornets game that kind of stuck with me, is that as a team, they're trying to get to the line more. And if you look at where the Knicks were pre the last 5 games, they're around a little bit above the middle of the pack in terms of free throw attempts per game. Over the last 5 games, they've dipped in that area, and RJ's a big part of that. You know, he does a really good job of getting to the rim. He draws contact really well. And I thought he did a really good job of that tonight. The whole and one that he hit in the fourth was huge. And it was such a subtle move, but he hesitated before he went up to the rim so that he knew the contact was going to get to him. And, you know, he's very savvy at doing that. Maybe that's something that he doesn't necessarily do in a previous year. But I thought RJ had a really good game. I think he had, 18 points on 14 shots. Okay, the efficiency isn't great. I thought the defense is solid. Nothing that stands out great. But, you know, he had a big fourth quarter, and we needed him. You know, and when you're a player like RJ, who maybe doesn't have a really great first or second quarter, is not filling up the box score, not really hitting it from 3 that great, it's tough to be called upon and then convert and execute. But he did that for us, and that's, again, a big reason why we won tonight.
Absolutely. And tonight, RJ had He had, where is it? He had 18 points, 7 of 14 from the field, shot 50%, hit only one of his five three-pointers, went 3 for 3 from the free throw line, got 7 boards, 1 assist. I liked RJ's game tonight, man, especially in the second half. That's where he started to pick it up. You know, he had 12 points in that second half, 8 in the fourth quarter. And look, he was also instrumental for what Quickly did as well, right? Because when you have both of those guys on that second unit, he's the battering ram for the second unit to open up the perimeter for Quickly. Even though Quickly has now become more of a three-level scorer, you see RJ as what you want from Randall and Brunson in that in the first unit, the guys that get downhill and hopefully open up for everybody else. That's what RJ does for that second unit. And tonight, man, I like what he did. And I thought for having such a okay first half, he really turned it around because, look, the Heat defense is tough. He's struggling, coming back from an illness. This is game 3 from an illness. And then to turn it up in the fourth quarter, keep this team alive, and just, finish layups, finish around the rim, just not. It's just for him. It's just that's the stuff that you need to see from him to be an efficient player. And even when he was attacking, he was still kicking out. He didn't rack up the assists. He was still making the right decision, which is what you want to see from RJ. But hey, the grabbing the boards, pushing the pace, and looking for his teammates, man, that stuff too, that all adds up. And I really like RJ's game, man. I like how it's because it's not the leap for me, but he's just become more efficient as a player, and that's what you need for him. And I like what you pointed out. You said the team started to run more plays for RJ and things started to open up, which is weird because you think you would want to go back to that same method, which was giving you success early in the season. Even when Randall and Brunson were struggling, you would think Tibbs would think of, hey, let me call like a pistol action to get RJ going downhill. Let's get that all the curl stuff going because that's where RJ thrives. And we weren't really seeing any of that, as you noted. It was just like a lot of like Brunson, you go at it. Now it's Randall, you try to do something in isolation, and that led to the turnovers, man. Because once you leave, especially for Randall, once you leave Randall to be more of the playmaker in that regards, then it's going to be much more difficult and it's going to be an uglier game, which is what we saw like parts of last season. So I like that change in the second half, and that really helped open up the Knicks offense.
We became really predictable, and I also think, with RJ too, we got to remember that he's guarding Jimmy on a lot of these possessions. Him and Josh Hart are getting that assignment on most possessions, and I thought he did well. I think I could be wrong on this, but I think RJ was on Jimmy on that last 3-point attempt when he went for the 3. I thought he closed out pretty well. So, it's just one of those things where I think what you said kind of called it best. It's not the leap, right? It's not the leap that you're looking for. But overall, it's just still solid continued play. Like with RJ in previous years, what we're used to is peaks and valleys. We're used to, 3 or 4 games where he's really hot from 3. Oh, is this the real RJ? He's getting downhill. He's getting to the cup, getting fouls called. And then he disappears. And this was a game where it didn't start great for him, but he came back and had a really solid contribution. And it just adds to the overall, I think, positive progression of what his game has been this year.
Absolutely. And salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning in once again. Let's get to the Discord and take some of these calls. We got Drew Gunna on the line. Drew, what's going on, man? How you feeling today? Drew Gunna going once.
Come on, Drew.
Drew Gunna going twice. Ooh, no Drew Gunna. All right. I'll leave you on the line. I'll check it back in. Work on the mic, connect it to the Discord, see what you can do. Let's go to Joey. Joey on the Discord. Joey, what's going on, man? Unmute your mic. How you doing today, man?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Going on from Melbourne, Australia, down under, as you like to call it.
Oh, from down under. Nice to talk to you, Joey. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, I gotta say that has got to be one of the best games I've ever watched since the Carmelo Charlotte game. I don't think my heart was racing that fast since in a while. I thought I might have had a heart attack or cardiac arrest. I'm not gonna lie.
Repeat that one more time. What was that?
A cardiac arrest or a heart attack.
Cardiac arrest, yes. Oh, that's all the Knicks are going to do to you, man. Look, Because
Yeah.
that's how this team is. Third quarter of doom. They're gonna make you sweat it out. You're gonna need your pacemaker, okay? You're gonna have to have the ambulance on deck. That's just how this team works, man. But thankfully they were able to pull this one out.
I've gotten used to it somehow, but my first thing that I want to bring up is bring in IQ, bring him into the starting lineup, and bench
Mm.
Grimes. That's the first take I gotta say. Second take is even though Randall had a little bit of a shaky ending to the game, he did do a lot for us for the first half. And I'm happy that Thibs had the courage to bench him in the third quarter. Hopefully that does give Randall a reality check. But to be honest, we wouldn't have won this game without the backup squad, the second unit. Yeah, that's all I got to say. And I'd just like to ask Alex on your thoughts on if you reckon IQ should replace Grimes in the coming games to come in the season.
All right, thank you for the call, Joey. Appreciate you checking in. Um, well, let's start off with the question that he asked, man. I said this at the beginning of the show. Do I want to put Emmanuel quickly into that starting rotation? Look, love Quick, love his game on this team. It's just tough to say yes to do that because I think what we see from IQ would kind of get muted a little bit in that starting rotation. And I'm not really worried about him starting. I'm worried about him getting most of the minutes because that's how good of a player he is. So look, when you look at that starting rotation, it's going to be Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle getting most of the shots up. That's why RJ gets most of the run with the second unit because that's where he's going to get most of his shot attempts. And the same thing would happen for Quick too. Like they would look for Quick to, go get most of his shot attempts. Just look what happens when Emmanuel quickly comes in at the first quarter when he's still in there with Randall and Brunson. He's there to help space the floor by being a shooter, not really being himself as what you see in that second unit. So as much as I love Quick, I still keep him off the bench. You allow him to be that second unit lead guard, be the captain of that squad, and just let him roll forward. But the thing I want to see quickly do is just get more minutes, which I think he deserves because he's just that talented. Every single season, even his second year where he had a sophomore slump, he figured things out towards the end. You started to see that playmaking come through. You started to see that he added a little bit more to his offense, and then he really started to flourish last season. That's why he was second when it came to Sixth Man of the Year voting. This year, he's just started the season strong. You're seeing that he doesn't have to think of, oh, am I playmaking IQ tonight? Am I scoring IQ tonight?
Right.
He has a better feel for the game, and he knows when to put his mark on the game in what fashion. So I wouldn't put him in that starting rotation. I like where he is right now. But what are your thoughts, Jeff? Do you think you should put him in? Would you put him in the starting rotation, or you keep him off the bench?
I'm with you, man. And I would kind of harken back to the 2012, 2013 Knicks. I know a lot of people love Mike Woodson. I love Mike Woodson too. But I just remember what he used to do with some of those lineups, when we had the good version of Jason Kidd before he retired. So he would start Jason Kidd, and I don't know, it seemed like he would play like 5 minutes of the first quarter, maybe not even the full quarter. But, he always kept J.R. Smith on the bench, even though he was probably better and more talented than some of the players ahead of him in the depth chart. But the fact of the matter was, and Tibbs talks about this a lot, a team needs balance, man. And it's balance in scoring and it's balance in defense. And, one of the benefits of having Quick come off the bench, the Heat, I haven't looked at the bench point differential, but I'm willing to bet that, Quick, whether it's not the Heat or other teams, really is able to kind of feast against those second units. And I'm not saying that he can't do that against starters because he's more than talented and capable of doing. But then what that does is it kind of limits some of our depth as a team. And just the way that it's kind of structured, I think it's good giving him those 25, 30 minutes, whatever it is. If you can kind of increase it and make sure he gets that closer to an overall sense. But at least the first chunk of his minutes are coming up against bench units. I think he does really well in those situations. So I totally understand the reasoning why people want Quick in the starting lineup. But I think when you look at our team overall, and when you look at how we have to balance talent for 48 minutes, and how are we going to score the ball for 48 minutes, it makes a lot more sense to have him on the bench, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And let's get to another caller in the night. We got Ward Scientist in the building. Ward Scientist, unmute your mic. What's going on, man? How you feeling today? How you feeling after this Knicks win against the Miami Heat?
Salute, salute. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
All right, all right. First of all, I feel incredible. Anytime we get to put our foot on Miami and knock them down and keep them below us, that is always a plus and it's always a win. Hey, yo, shout out to CP. I seen the live or I was listening to the live in MSG. Hey, yo, salute to you too, Jeff. I meant to shout you out last time I called, but yeah, anytime we get to put our foot on Miami's neck, it's always a plus as a Knicks fan, and I know that's gonna travel all the way across. You get it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, that's a rival foe right there. There's bad blood since Pat Riley left the Knicks to go down there, to go down to South Beach and give the Miami Heat the Knicks blueprint to why they're so successful. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Listen, Tim Hardaway used to make me leave out of Madison Square Garden in the 90s with a migraine every day, every time. So, yo, I have, flashbacks of Alonzo Mourning and them cats back in the 90s, killing the whole scenario. So, yeah, but, we here now. We in the new millennium, so let's go. Shout out to CP, like I said, man, listen, pay IQ. Listen, IQ, pay that man his money. And Captain Clutch, listen, what do I need to say? Yo, the stats speak for itself. I'm mad, at the turnovers. It was a lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy play. You know what I'm saying? But even through that struggle, you know what I'm saying? Us as New Yorkers, we know when it comes to them times with even we be messing up ourselves, and we still get up and dust ourselves off and still persevere and push through. Yo, that's a classic vintage Knicks performance, man. So I salute the team through all of it, man. I'm happy. I'm thankful. Yo, it feels good to be a Knicks fan. So on that note, like my man Jay Boogie say, salute Jay Boogie, 3 capital S's, Lord Scientist, and I'm out.
Appreciate you, Ward Scientist, for calling in and checking in. That was Ward Scientist on the line, man. He said, pay Emmanuel quickly. Give that man his money. He earned it. He deserved it. I agree with him, man. I was hoping that they get a deal done this offseason. Obviously, they didn't. We went through that whole spiel. I'm not happy about it, just because I don't like the thought of just Emmanuel Quickly's future up in the air and potentially losing him through restricted free agency. That's how I feel. Are you paying Emmanuel quickly, Jeff? Is that what you're doing?
Of course, brother. Listen, I wanted him paid. It's really rough to see kind of how that situation turned out. There was a part of me that wondered when we signed Dante DiVincenzo, not to go too much down this rabbit hole. We got a great game to talk about, but if the Knicks were kind of adding insurance for a potential exit from one of their guards, whoever it was going to be. But Emmanuel Quickly is worth so much more than what he's currently getting. He's really a great player on this team, and he does a lot. And he's worth a lot, man. I mean, do I go 100 million? I mean, it's up there. It's close. If there, I'm going at least 85 to 90. And the only issue is I probably feel that maybe Quickly's camp was, probably not so high on that, if some of the reports are true. So, it's tough, but I would rather pay him. You always want to pay the asset, and if you have to make a trade later, go for it. But you cannot lose a talent like him for nothing. Or, if someone makes some type of poison pill contract offer in the summer, and then you have to pay it. That's obviously the drawback. But the Knicks front office as a whole has garnered enough decent good vibes that I'm willing to see where this goes. But there's no question that I wanted him paid for sure.
Pay that man. And yeah, I hear you, Jeff. Like, front office has done enough solid for this team. Obviously, they're winning. They're competitive. That's what you want to see from this team. Obviously, the big goal is a championship one day, but you got to take steps, man. You got to take steps before you get there. But you got to pay Emmanuel quickly first. That's how I feel about this because, look, you can't lose a talented guy like that. Man's becoming a 3-level scorer, playmaker, does a lot of things for this team. Very valuable. Look, tonight without him, that's how much of a game changer he is, man. That's how much of a gamer he is.
For sure.
Oh, my goodness. Salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning in to KFTV Postgame Live. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Make sure to share the links to all these videos. Make sure to tell a friend to tell a friend. And salute to all the franchise channel members out there. We got a new franchise channel member, Harlem's Alfredo. Salute to you. Welcome to the franchise. We got other franchise channel members in here. We got Brooklyn Vega. Salute to you. We got Eric Garcia. We got Dr. D-Roy Bromwell. We got Arthur in here. Salute to all of you. We got Jamaica Queens, as always. Salute to you. Salute to you. Scott Novak, salute to you as well. Let's go. We got a lot of franchise channel members in here. K. Dot, salute to you as well. Rare Edition. We got a lot of franchise channel members in here. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Salute to all the regulars as well. Salute to John Talento. Salute to Junior Caroma. Salute to KG7 Full. Salute to all you guys. And thank you all for tuning in. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Where's CP when you need this? We got Robert Randolph giving us a $20 super chat. $19.99. Just I'm going to call it $20. We're going to round it up. He said he gave us the super chat. Salute to you, Robert Randolph. He said King Julius needs IQ to start, so he has the spacing needed. Randall did the intangibles to get us the win. Send Grimes to the bench. A
guy trying to be a guest on the show.
Who, Robert Randolph trying to be a guest on the show? Look, man, we're still waiting for him to call in. He said he was going to call in one night. This is a good night for you to call in, Mr. Randolph. You can download the Discord, call in, give us your take about Julius's game tonight, okay? You talk about the turnovers. We need to talk about that as well. We'll get to that at some point in the show. But hey, he says IQ needs to be in the starting rotation. Everyone's looking for a lineup change, Jeff. Everyone's looking for a lineup change while the Knicks are winning. The Knicks are currently 9-6, and people are asking for lineup changes. They're asking to fix what doesn't seem to be broken.
Yeah, but listen, dude, this literally happened a couple nights ago, right? Dante DiVincenzo drops 25 on the Hornets, and what's everybody saying? Oh, listen, Grimes' days are numbered in the starting lineup. I don't know. Listen, this is very reactionary, but we'll see. We'll see how things go.
We'll see how things go. Salute to Gotta Be Legend, an OG. He's been a channel member for 9 months. Salute to you, man. He said best comeback he's seen in years. Yo, it was a great comeback. Yeah. I thought we were about to get the fake Knicks comeback. You know how it is. Like, oh, we're in this one. There we go. We're walking home still with our heads down. But nah, tonight, it was great, man. I liked it. Loved it. Loved everything about it. Loved everything about it. And you know what? You should love people? You should love our sponsor, BetUS, the official sports book for KFTV for the 2023-2024 NBA season. BetUS is one of the premier sports books out there. You can bet on all sports. MLB, even though they're not in season. You got NHL going on right now. You got the NFL. You got the NBA, obviously. So you can go there and place any bet you want. They have an online casino. They have all types of betting. You want to do prop bets? They got you. You want to bet on money lines? They got you. You want to bet on spreads? They got you. So make sure to go to the link into the bio or hit it in the chat, and you can go to the BetUS and sign up sign up today and get a bonus match of up to 125% on your first deposit. All right. And look, you can still place a bet on the in-season tournament. Do you think the Knicks are still going to win this in-season tournament? We're still in group play. You can go make that bet today. So go make that bet if you want to, but make sure to click on the link, BetUS, in the description or in the chat, and go get your match of up to 125% on your first deposit today. Okay, moving along. Jeff, we got to talk about your boy, Julius Randle. And Robert Randolph's boy. You guys both got the same boy. Julius Randle today went 5 of 12 from the field, hit one of his only 4 3-pointers, went 2 for 2 from the free throw line, got you 13 points, 8 boards, 7 assists, but he had 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers today and played 35 minutes. What did you think about Julius Randle's performance tonight?
All right, so I'm going to start with the positive. The first quarter and parts of the second quarter, I felt that Julius honestly did a really good job of finding the open man, especially when he does that move where he's kind of on the post and then he dribbles inside and either, will shoot a fadeaway, try and draw contact, or find somebody open on three. I thought he did a really good job of that. And then it just kind of fell apart. There was a lot of just processing issues when it came to the turnovers. A little bit of lazy play, man. I got to call it how I see it. Like there was a play where he was by the sideline and he just kind of like was dribbling it very loosely or maybe not with a lot of urgency. And one of whoever was guarding him just kind of knocked it out or knocked it off him. And he's kind of like has his hands in the air. Is like, oh, what's going on? And it's like, dude, you're not paying attention to what's going on. And, that's the frustrating part of Julius Randle's game. He's an incredibly talented, he's a very intelligent player, but he has these lapses that unfortunately last for 5-10 minutes of the game where he's just not locked in to what is going on. And that's where you have the turnovers. I don't have the numbers, but I mean, he had at least, 4 or 5 turnovers tonight. The Knicks as a team had a decent amount of them. And what did we hear Rick Brunson talk about at halftime? The Heat had 18 points off of their turnovers. That's a huge amount. And Julius was a part of that. And he has to acknowledge that. He has to take ownership of that. We can't have that. So that was a really tough part of his game. I'll credit him in the fourth quarter when Tibbs brings him back in. He's not looking to take the game over. He knows Jalen Brunson has it going and is just kind of sitting out of the way and, maybe just trying to rebound and play good defense. So I'll give him credit there, but overall it was a rough night for him. And I think if you interviewed him, he'd have to say the same thing.
Julius Randle went back to his old ways tonight, Jeff. And I'm not talking about the turnovers. I'm talking about the scoring because last season he averaged about 9 points in the first quarter, and that's what he did tonight to help the Knicks team get going. And was a big component to why they were in it to start off this game. Okay, I'm not going to throw shade to that, but he had 4 turnovers in the first quarter. And as you noted, as the game kind of progressed, he was just, you could see that he was getting frustrated. You can understand that he was frustrated with himself because of all the turnovers he was having. And even like the errant passes too, right? Because you just see like he was looking for guys over in the corner. He was just, I think it was one to like Dante DiVincenzo and just went. It was
right
like a
into like
rock,
the
went
50th
into
row.
the stands,
Like,
man. Went to like
crazy.
the 20th row.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like as a player, like you've been playing well through a good stretch of games, but then you have a rough one, and then it's like totally understandable that you're going to be holding your head down and stuff like that. But you got to snap yourself out of it, man. You're still in this game. There's still a chance. You just got to believe and you got to fight. And look, the turnovers, this is what happens when you talked about with the offense where it's just between Brunson and Randle. When you leave Randle to be the sole initiator to like work in the half court like that for a lot of the game, it's going to happen. Like we're so accustomed to this where it's like, has he improved as a playmaker? Absolutely. I think he's doing a better job this season being a passer. Look, he got 7 assists. He's making an effort to be more of a playmaker than he was last season and what he's been throughout all the other seasons as a Knick. I give him credit for that. But for tonight's game, like you just gotta be careful with the rock, man. And it's like there's just times where he just tries to force a pass just to make something happen without just taking the simple pass. Where it's like Brunson's just trying to get like whether it's Brunson or RJ just trying to go to him or even Grimes, right? Just trying to get the ball and just get it out of a double team and stuff like that. Or even during a double team, like Randle just holding on to it and just looking in a direction they shouldn't be looking in to begin with and looking at the top or at the wing and just getting that easy pass if he can. So, look, it's a tough night for Randle. He typically plays well during the regular season. We know that players are going to have bad games like this. You can't hold it against him. But tonight, you just wish he would have been better. But to Joey's point, who called in, he said for Tibbs benching him in the third. Was that a benching or is that just a typical rotational change? That's the thing for like where it comes to me and like Tibbs, where it's like I don't know if it was necessarily a benching. Like when he came back in for Josh Hart in the fourth quarter, I was like, what Randle are we going to get now? Is Randle going to take a step back to let the guys who are cook, or is he going to try to impose himself on the Heat and then make more of an issue when he didn't really have it going tonight?
I think you could say it's kind of a benching in the sense of this, right? Like he still played 34 minutes, which is a good amount of minutes. I'm just gonna really check. So I mean, between him, Brunson plays 34. Julius actually played the most minutes on the team tonight, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because his overall game was not on the same level at all. But I think if we're looking at it from a Tibbs perspective, you know, Tibbs is the type of guy that if Julius is having even a slightly better game than that, probably plays closer to 38, or something like that. So I do think there was a little bit of restraint there, but not as much as was needed, because in the third quarter, first off, you could have subbed out 5 for 5 the way they were playing. Let's be real. But Julius definitely deserved probably a quicker hook than he got at that point. You know that Tibbs is very loyal to him and he wants to get him going. It wasn't working tonight. We were lucky that it didn't end up in a loss and it didn't end up hurting us, but that's always been a fan's criticism of Tibbs in general, that he doesn't know when kind of bad Julius is showing up, and he doesn't really know when to rein it in and to say, listen, just sit on the bench for a little bit, see the game for a little bit, come back in and see how you're going to do. You could also look at it from a negative in the standpoint of he puts Julius back in after he's been sitting for quite a bit, and it's like, he's out of rhythm at this point. Like, of course, he's still one of your best players on your team, but what can you really expect from him at that point? I mean, I guess it's good because the Heat still respect him as a shooter, so you can't sag off him. And you're going to have to put multiple bodies on him if he chooses to drive, which is going to maybe open up passing lanes for somebody else on the team. That didn't really happen because he didn't really have the ball much, right? I mean, Jalen Brunson had it going, and it was really his show. So it's good, I guess, from a standpoint to kind of see that Julius understands that, despite being one of the big names on the team, when somebody else has it going, you kind of just need to sit on the side and if you're open, take it, but just kind of play off somebody as opposed to dominating the ball.
So Randall only played 3 minutes and 50 seconds in the fourth quarter. So he actually didn't get to play that much time in the fourth. So he checked out of his I think. I don't know if this.
He usually comes out for the beginning of the fourth and then comes back. I want to say it's like, I don't know, 6-minute mark. Like that's usually when, if we're looking at old Obi minutes, right? Like Obi's getting like 3-4 minutes in the fourth, and then it's like, you gotta go, dude. Like
then I guess it was really a benching then, if we look at it. So
I think kind of. It's hard to say it because he played the most minutes on the team, but I do think that he didn't play his regular minutes. So I do feel like Tibbs was kind of seeing the game and saw that he wasn't having the impact that he should. But in the third quarter, he should have got pulled sooner than what he was, how he was playing.
Because here's the thing, it's like, because he had the most minutes, was it? I guess I guess you gotta call it a benching because he's not playing during the most critical parts of the game, right? Like, sure. I guess he did still at the end because you're talking about the last few minutes where the game was tight, and when the game got close, that's when Randall came back in. So Tibbs essentially did go back to his guy. This is where it's like, was it really a benching or was it not? And it's like, that's why I say I guess, because he still got back in the game, like, right. And it was at the most important point where it's like, Josh Hart was cooking. Like, let's keep it real. Like, in the fourth quarter, Josh Hart was getting some critical boards, pushing in transition, facilitating well. Like, you got your 10 points tonight. Josh Hart played well, and especially in that fourth quarter. So, to pull Josh Hart out for Randall, I don't know. The debate we must. Do you think? All right, let's ask it to the chat. Let's see if what the chat feels, man. I don't know how this poll will do, but TM, let's throw it up. Did Randall get a benching tonight? Yes or no? Was between the third and fourth quarter Randall a benching or not?
I'll be interested to see what people say.
I want to know what people consider that. I want
to know. It also depends kind of where you land on Julius Randle as a player in general. Like, I think if you're kind of a hater on him, you'll be like, no, he didn't get a benching. Tibbs trusts him too much. He got 35 minutes. But I do think I don't know. I think if you look at it kind of objectively, you'd have to say that he didn't get his normal set of minutes, and especially in the fourth.
Okay. I want to know what the answer is. We get some yes, we get some no. CP in the chat. CP, where you at, man? Where you at? You say, where are you at, CP? Where you at? I need to talk to you about your free throws, man.
The free throws right now.
Okay, because that form, I'm hearing that well, we got the video. Let's table the Randall conversation. Set up a poll for that. We got 1,500 in the chat. We got 15 watching live right now. Salute to Knicks Nation. Salute to everyone tuning in for KFTV Post Game Live. We got CP in the chat. Where are you on this panel right now? We need your takes from the game and what you feel about it. But you know what, Daniel? Let's pull up the CP free throw and let's see what this thing looks like. Okay, we got the footage now. We're going not live, but we got the footage. We're going to take a look at how this thing is. We're going to see if CP actually hit his free throw. Let's go right now. Let's see this video. Oh my god! Oh yes.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be two dribbles, a spin of the ball. Let's see what this 1, 2, 3. Okay, wow.
I went back for another 3.
4 or 5. Oh, the rim was friendly. The garden rims are friendly.
Tonight, the garden rims are friendly. Look at this. Look at that. That form is, buddy.
Boy,
oh, buddy.
Very stiff. I think it was the jacket. CP would probably tell you it's the jacket, but that very stiff right there.
CP, you didn't take off the jacket? Yeah, you didn't take.
You gotta take off.
Come on, man. What are we doing over here?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm getting word over here. Oh, I'm getting word that Lady KFTV had a better looking free throw than CP. Where's that footage?
I'm not surprised.
Where's that footage? CP, where are you, man? Did you do some training before you go to tonight's game? Did you take some? Wow, you were 4 scotches deep. Oh man. CP's like, let me get some spirits first before I knock down this free throw. I'm surprised that hoop wasn't moving left and right for you. Well, kudos to CP for knocking down a free throw for once. TM, what is the record now? What is CP like 2 of like 20? Was he 2 for 20 from the free throw line? What's happening now?
Those are Randall numbers in the clutch.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what you need. Does he and Randall have the same free throw shooting coach? I need to know. We need answers.
It's not Drew Hanlon.
Not Drew Hanlon. Shout out to RJ. All right, man. Well, we got CP's free throw. Finally, he made it. It's been quite some time. How many seasons has it been since CP hit a free throw? What has it been, like 5 seasons? 6 seasons? 7? 20? Who knows? We need answers. Well, let's get back to the Discord, Jeff. We got Stelicho on the line. Stelicho, what's going on, man? Unmute your mic. How you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine. My brother Alex. This is Stilico on the line.
Stilico, my bad. Stilico.
No, you good. Down here in Kentucky. Can't really say too much about a CP's free throw. Because the last time I handled a basketball, I work at a public school. One of my kids passed the ball to me, and I made a fool of myself in front of the entire junior class. So can't say too much about his free throw because he made it. But couple comments before I come in here. Gotta shout out to the YouTube chat earlier saying that I wasn't a real Knicks fan. That was real. That was really good of him. But my boy Joey earlier calling in. Good to hear his voice. Happy he's still around. But my big question. Hart looked really good tonight. Josh Hart looked fantastic tonight. Do we think that he should be Julius's backup 4? Because as good as he looked tonight, and he looked great, and I'm not going to take that away from him, because I love Josh Hart. I think he's like the spiritual leader of the team, because in the locker room, he looks fantastic. And he puts a lot of culture into this group. But is the 4 his natural position? Because for as long as he has been in this league, he's been playing the 2, playing the 3, and now he's up here playing the 4 with people that are like darn near close to half a foot taller than him.
Mm-hmm.
So do we think that's where he needs to be? Or should we be looking for, with our Fournier contract, with all of our draft capital, should we be looking for somebody, maybe not using all of that, but using some of that to look for somebody that should be sitting behind Julius waiting to take the 4 minutes that would be more naturally suited to that position.
Right. Absolutely. And appreciate the call, Stilico. So do we think we need to get a backup 4? I mean, that's been the question since the beginning of the season. Do we get a backup 4 for this Knicks team? Because as of right now, it's Josh Hart. And I mean, look, when you go against other teams in the league and like when you watch us play against a team like the Timberwolves, right? And you see the height difference over there, or you talk about a team like the Celtics, and you see the height difference over there, right? And even when you play against the Milwaukee Bucks, they got a height difference against us too. That's where you're going to see, should we have a backup 4, right? Because, and this is where the whole conversation for Obi Toppin comes in, 6'9", not necessarily the best defender, but he has height, he has wingspan where he can actually contest some of these shots and match up vertically with a lot of these other players out there. Thank you, Daniel, for throwing the Toppin caster out there. Should we go out there and get a backup 4? Because Josh Hart, that's not really what he's been known for, man. He's been a wing, right? He plays either the 2 guard or the 3, and that's where he's been comfortable for most of his career. Now, look, I think for most of the NBA, like we look at the Heat tonight. Tonight was a fine matchup for Josh Hart because the Heat don't really have a front court like that. I mean, it's Kevin Love, who's the backup center, and it's Bam Adebayo. Bam being the tallest guy at 6'9", Kevin Love being 6'8". And then you have everybody else who's like 6'6" or 6'5" and less. And Jimmy, who's probably the next tallest guy, he's playing the wing. He's not even playing the 4. So I think it would be nice to have a backup 4, like a traditional 4, so that way you have more wingspan and that you can guard opponents and that you have more switchability, because a lot of guards, man, people are just going to shoot over you. And that's what we saw Naz Reid do to Josh Hart when it came to the Minnesota Timberwolves. So when I look at matchups like that, yes, I would like a traditional 4. Am I pressing to get a traditional 4 right now? No, unless there's somebody out there that's going to be there for great value. But if I'm the Knicks, I would like to finally use a draft pick to go answer a need that we need on this team. That's how I feel. What do you think, Josh? Well, what do you think, Jeff? Wow. Going over.
No. Listen, this is so I'm gonna throw something out there. So I hear Stilico's I hear what he's saying, right? Like, and I think a lot of Knicks fans feel similarly that, in the offseason we could have maybe allocated some resources to get a true backup 4 instead of giving Josh Hart those minutes. But I am currently okay with giving those minutes to Hart, but I would like RJ to get some of them as well, because I think RJ, although defensively I don't think he has the acumen of Hart, I don't think he has the will of Hart, but I love what he's currently giving you in terms of being able to stretch the floor. He has great size, and I think that he can also play some of those minutes there. And the fact of the matter is, I want to see RJ playing more and getting more opportunities to be featured, whether it's offensively. So if you're giving him backup 4 minutes as well, I don't mind that. And the other thing is this. So it didn't happen a lot tonight, but the Knicks played a decent amount of drop coverage. And against the Heat, they got burned a couple of times where, Mitch is backing up. He's on his heels. And then whoever is playing the pick and roll coverage with him is struggling to close out to Kevin Love or Highsmith or Richardson, whoever it is, right? Now, the Heat didn't shoot well. right? So they didn't burn us on this, but there were a couple of shots that they did hit. And, we saw this in the playoff series. There was a lot of Knicks fans who were like, listen, we're either doubling Jimmy too much or we're playing too much drop coverage. We need to switch a little bit more. It's going to be harder to close out to some of these shooters if you have a typical guy that's going to play the backup 4 minutes, who's a 6'9", like Obi, maybe not as agile, maybe not as mobile, not as quick laterally. So with Hart and potentially Barrett, I don't mind that right now. Like, if it becomes a big issue, then I'm sure the front office will try and address it. But I don't think it's a huge thing right now. I'm we're 9-6. We're a really, really good defensive team, and we're a solid offensive team. I'm okay with that being a weakness that is not one that I don't think it's going to really hurt us in the end. I think there's other areas that we need to work on.
Absolutely. I hear you. I totally hear you on that, Jeff. Totally hear you on that. Salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning in for KFTV Postgame Live. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. All right, guys, we got 1,400 in the chat. We need to get up. We need to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Come on, we only got 500 likes right now. That ain't cutting it. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Make sure to support our sponsors. And speaking about sponsors, let's go to our other sponsor of the night. We got Manscaped. You can use the promo code KFTV to get a 20% discount plus free shipping. But guys, it's Merry Ballsmas from our friends over at Manscaped. The holidays are approaching, but what if I told you that the celebrations are starting early this year? It turns out the perfect gift does exist, and who else to bring it down your chimney than the leaders in below-the-waist grooming? Keep calm and let your balls jingle this season with Manscaped's brand new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, featuring the new Lawnmower 5.0. Watch all your wishes and mistletoe kisses come true. Look nice when you're going naughty by going to manscaped.com. Use the promo code KFTV for 20% off, free shipping. Unwrap the gift of smoothest this season with Manscaped. Guys, look, I use Manscaped. I got the new Lawnmower 5.0. It's been great. I'm not going to give you a full-on testimonial what happens. That's for you guys to go out, support our sponsor, go buy the product. It's great. I can just tell you, I love everything. I got the handyman too to get the close shaves underneath when you want to get all the stubble underneath here. Seem like you're going to a barber. I got the beard trimmer as well. That's perfect as well when you don't have time to go to a barber. The Manscaped products hit, man. I highly recommend supporting our sponsors. Make sure to use KFTV, the promo code KFTV for a 20% discount plus free shipping. Man. I see that everyone in the chat loves the ad read. Come on, guys. You got to love the Manscaped ad reads. You know what's happening when we get to Manscaped. Come on now. Enjoy it.
What does Cody Glock say? 0 turnovers, right?
0 turnovers. 0 turnovers. No testimonials. We don't need any. We need none of that. Please. None. Look. All right? Buy the product. You'll appreciate our help. Go support our sponsor. That's all I got to say. Okay. Jeff. This is the last part of the show, man. This is the last part of the show and what everyone is always waiting for. And because CP's not here, that means I'm the captain of the ship. I get to run this part of the show. That means I get to look at the chat and make sure my ratings get to Met. No, I'm just playing. All right. We are doing player ratings. We are going back to player ratings tonight. We got a fantastic win. New York Knicks defeat the Miami Heat 100-98. So, of course, we got to do some player ratings tonight. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And starting off with number one, none other than Julius Randle.
I'm going first?
Yes, of course. It's not me, man. I'm hosting the show.
Right.
You're the one that goes first. That's how this works around here.
You're setting the table for me. I appreciate it. Man. Julius. I'm gonna go. Do we do halves? I always forget. Do we do halves or we gotta go full?
You can do halves, you can do quarters, you can even do thirds for all it matters, man.
I'm gonna go with 6.5. 6.5 out of 10 on him.
You go 6.5
Yeah.
for Julius Randle for tonight's performance.
Julius Randle.
6.5.
Yeah.
What is the chance? No, I was playing. 6.5 for Julius tonight.
Very curious to see where you land on this.
I'm gonna go with 6, man. I'm gonna go with a 6.
Okay.
Just because, look,
Fair.
the whole point of like I said, I appreciate that he's improving his ability to be a playmaker out there, his facilitating. I'm gonna go with a 6 just because. Look, he got you the rebounds tonight, 8 boards.
Yeah.
He got you 7 assists. You can't scoff at that. But it's the 6 turnovers, and he only got 13 points tonight, man. Look, he had the chance to just go to town. He had to beat up on Highsmith tonight, and all you can do is get 13 points. I get it. Bam was out there, guarded Julius for some matchups, but look, I'm going with 6 tonight just because when he came in the fourth quarter, he was still getting your boards with 3 minutes to go. But look, 8 boards, man. 8 boards, 7 assists, but it's the 6 turnovers. That's what killed me, man.
Yeah,
and there was like the trotting back on defense at times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a 6 though because look, this first quarter you needed his 9 points. I'll give him that. I'll give him 6. CP throwing tomatoes in the chat. Looks like I'm going to be making some tomato soup later tonight. I got a grilled cheese waiting for me anyway. So yeah, if you want to throw tomatoes, totally. All right, go on to the next player. We're going to Josh Hart.
Josh Hart was really good tonight. He hit one of his threes. Very active defensively, strong rebounder. This might be a little high for him. I'm gonna go 8, and this is because I'm gonna go 8 on Josh Hart, and it's because you have to see it within the context of who Josh Hart is as a player. You know, Josh Hart is not going to fill it up offensively in the stat sheet, but the thing is this: is he taking open threes? It matters if he hits them, but you know that he's not going to hit a lot of them. But he has to take them because he has to be a threat to take them. But he did everything else on the court that you would want Josh Hart to do. He passed well, he defended well, hands in the passing lane, aggressive defensively. And I do think, you know, most people will look at Josh Hart and be like, he was okay tonight. But I do think that if you really watched what he was doing tonight, that he was very impactful in terms of us making that comeback tonight. So I'm going to give him an 8.
I'm going 8 as well, Jeff. I'm going 8 as well.
Wow.
I'm going 8 as well, and here's why.
Okay.
I liked his performance in the fourth quarter, man. Look, you needed somebody. Look, Julius was not cutting it in the second half. He came in here and he was getting boards. He was pushing the pace, facilitating. He got you 10 points, efficient 4 for 7 from the field, hit his sole 3-pointers you talked about. 8 boards, 4 assists, man. 1 steal. There was a point in the game where you see him rushing back on defense, going against the Heat's rookie, Jaime Jaquez, where you see Jaime Jaquez, Kyle Lowry throws out an outlet pass to Jaime, and then you have Hart chasing down the other end of the court, gets the steal, gets it to quickly, even though that possession became dead. It didn't amount to anything. That's the type of effort we need to see for this Knicks to get back into it. I agree with you for giving him an 8. Josh Hart, man, this is the type of games where Josh Hart just pops off the screen because he is like that free safety, right? He's roaming the court. He's looking to make the steal. He's looking to jump the passing lanes. He's looking to do all those things, and he's attacking out transition. This is probably the closest game that I see to Josh Hart being that guy that when he was traded to the Knicks just consistently was popping off the screen. This was the closest game to like last season, seeing him tonight. I agree. I'm going to give him an 8 for what he did tonight. Let's go with RJ Barrett.
Ooh. 18 on 14 shots, 50% shooting, 7 boards. I'm gonna give RJ. I'm gonna give him a 7.5. I think his overall impact, if we look at 4 quarters, was not great, but he was so instrumental during the fourth when we needed him. And I can't really blame him for not having as big of an impact offensively, because I really feel like in the third quarter, Julius and Jalen, despite Brunson being an absolute hero in the fourth, Julius and Jalen were not doing us any favors in the third, and they weren't helping any of their teammates out, I think, offensively either. So I'm going to give Barrett a 7.5, with a leaning towards an 8 kind of because of his performance in the fourth.
I'm going with a 7 for RJ tonight, man. Because what the thing to me is like, yes, was he important in the fourth quarter? Yes, I noted that earlier in the show. I thought he was very important in the fourth quarter. He got you 18 points, 7-14 from the field, pretty efficient. Went 1 of 5 from downtown. Got you 7 boards, 1 assist, and not everything necessarily popped off the screen. But I thought for most of the game, it took a little too long to where he needed to get to. And yes, very important in the fourth quarter. I thought he had a solid game to finish out, but you know what? I think that there was still a little bit more in the tank that he could have given throughout the entire performance, and his scoring more so benefited off of Quickly and Brunson's performance tonight, more so Quickly. So I'm going to give Barrett, what did I say? What number did I say? Did I say
7.
7. He gets a 7 from me tonight. Ooh, I can see people are now tuning in late and are now still giving me tomatoes for the Julius Randle grade. Look, man, I'm happy about tonight's win, okay? I'm happy about tonight's win. As TM said, he wishes that Jeff and I were substitute teachers. Look, man, sometimes you got to give out a nice grade, okay? You're happy. You had a good weekend. You came in. You see everything that's happening. You're like, you know what? Who cares? Everyone's going to get... Look, 6 out of 10 is actually not even passing. He still failed. I don't even know what we're talking about over here. Anywho,
you just pop in the video, and you just put it in the front and you say everyone did really well. Just give him a good grade. It's whatever.
You throw on Bill Nye the Science Guy. You go home and you call it a day, man. Look, and you're just like, hey, whatever it is, man. Okay, it's raining outside. We're not going to go. What do you want to do? All right. What do you want to happen? All right. This is tough.
Okay.
Very, very tough. Jalen Brunson.
This is not tough for me. I thought about this already. I'm gonna go a 9 for Jalen Brunson. 24 points. Again, very nitpicky, but I think there's parts of Jalen Brunson's game tonight that you could legitimately have some beef with. And if you look back at the tape, you're gonna see it. He misses passes to guys that are open in the paint, and it's not just this game. It's been happening. And Jalen Brunson is an amazing player. I'm not killing the guy. He's the best free agent signing we've had in I don't know how long. But Mitch is cutting off the pick and roll, whatever it is. There's 2 guys that are sent to Brunson. He has not yet figured out how to either make a pass to someone who can find the person who is cutting, or to make a pass to the person who's cutting themselves. And I can tell you for a fact, Robinson was open on at least 3, maybe 4 possessions. There was one lob that he threw to Robinson that was like over his head. It hit the side of the backboard, whatever it was. But all of that really doesn't matter, because the show that he put on in the fourth was otherworldly. It was incredible. Jalen Brunson was the offense. It didn't matter that we didn't have off-ball movement. It didn't matter that we weren't running some type of motion offense with like multiple options, whatever. Jalen Brunson has a counter for everything that the defense wanted to throw at him. He had a move for everything. He was able to draw contact and finish through it. So you have to give this guy his flowers. I think you have to give him a really solid grade, because he is the reason we won tonight. So I'm going to go 9. It wasn't a perfect game. 24 points is really good. It's not amazing, but Jalen Brunson was him tonight for sure.
I'm giving Brunson a 9 as well tonight. And for most of the stuff that you said, Jeff, yeah, there's passes that he misses Mitch and other teammates on that he could definitely hit on. But you know, when he gets down to the fourth quarter where you need him the most, that's how he earns most of the score, man. 24 points. Got you 8 points in the fourth quarter. He was efficient tonight, 10 of 16. Was not afraid of the Miami Heat. Keeps this Knicks in-season tournament hopes alive, okay? And just what he had to do, man. The physicality, his footwork in the fourth quarter, like I said, his cool, calm collectedness, that is the stuff that you need out of a guy in order to close these games, which the Knicks have missed for so long. And for Brunson, that's what he did tonight, man. And that's why I'm giving him a 9 as well. Now, for the last guy of player ratings, none other than the guy himself, Emmanuel Quickly.
Ooh. Wow, Quick was incredible. If I gave Josh Hart an 8, I gotta go 8.5 for Quickly.
Wow, you're going 8.5 for Emmanuel Quickly.
I am. IQ had 20 points tonight. Yeah. You know, I don't know how much he had in the fourth, but it was a decent amount. This is the best part about IQ to me. So the way that the offense looked in the third quarter, so stagnant, just lacking life, lacking energy. Quick is a guy that can change that on a dime because of just who he is and the way that he tries to affect the game. When he penetrates in the paint, he's usually pretty good with his decision making. It's either a quick floater, pass out, or he's going to try and maybe hit a layup through contact. Quick was really great tonight in terms of making plays that sparked us. Listen, the ball has kinetic energy. We know that. And, when it found its way to Quickly, he converted in a really positive way. I'm going to go 8.5 for him. I think he was special tonight.
You are getting some tomatoes in the chat, my guy. Even some pineapples and coconuts. People are throwing coconuts at you. Sheesh. Pineapples. There we go. I'm giving Emmanuel Quickly a 10 tonight, my man. He is getting a 10 from me.
Wow.
He's getting a perfect score. I can go off the Richter scale and stuff like that, depending on the performance. Tonight's not one of those nights, but he is getting a 10 from me. Look, we needed a spark. We needed life in this offense. Emmanuel Quickly was just that in the third quarter. As soon as he comes in with about 4 minutes to go, you know what he does? He's like, let me knock down a 3. Oh, you know what else you need? You're gonna need all my scoring tonight. Miami Heat, get out of my way. I'm about to put you back in your place. Go back to South Beach. You ain't taking us out of this in-season tournament yet. My name's Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel, to be exact. I'm giving him a 10 tonight, man. Look, he got you 8 points in the fourth quarter. 20 points in total. 8 of 17 from the field. Close to being efficient. 4 of 8 from downtown. We needed 3-point shooting. This team was in desperate need of 3-point shooting. He gives you just that. 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Like I said, the playmaking wasn't fully there tonight as we would want from him. I get you. I get that. But he is getting a 10 for what he needed to do tonight to put this team back on top, okay? He brings this team back within 8 points. 8 points. And then he's part of that closing rotation to say, you know what? We're going all the way home tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going home. We're sending the Heat packing. Go back to South Beach. Take your talents back there. We don't want to see it anymore. You're coming back to New York. It's going to be colder the next time. Sayonara. IQ gets a 10 from me tonight. Whew, and on that note, I think this is a good place to end the show. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for KFTV Post-Game Live. Appreciate you all tuning in. We had 1,300 tuning in all the way through. Salute to all of you for listening to us and breaking down this game and calling in and giving us your takes and reactions. And, hey, CP hit a free throw today, so we got to go back to that and see that there's actually video evidence of CP hitting a free throw because we don't know how many times this is going to happen in life. You know, you can only, you got to be, it's like seeing a blue moon. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. But salute to Knicks Nation. Salute to all of you for tuning in for KFTV Post Game Live. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Make sure to share the links to all these videos. Make sure to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell your family member, to tell your dog, your cats, whatever it may be. And look, If you can't tune in live on YouTube, guess what you can also do? You can follow us on any audio streaming platform, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. You can catch us all there. Make sure to subscribe so that way while you're on the go, you can always listen to us in the car, wherever you may be. And make sure to support our sponsors, okay? Make sure to support BetUS, okay? They're the official sportsbook for KFTV for the 2023-2024 NBA season. Make sure to hit the link in the video description or in the chat where you can hit it right there to get up to a 125% match. Make sure to also support our other sponsor, Manscaped. Make sure to use the promo code KFTV to get 20% off your product and to also get free shipping. On top of that, make sure to support KnicksFanTV.com because guess what? That's where Jeff, I, and a few others go over there and decide to chronicle the New York Knicks, all right? So if you want to read breakdowns, game previews, Remy's recaps, Jeff doing some draft dives, or just giving you his thoughts about the team, make sure to go over to KnicksFanTV.com and go support our writers as well. Go check out the articles over there. And man, salute to all of Knicks Nation just once again. Salute to all the franchise channel members. Salute to you. Salute to JJ. Salute to Arthur. Salute to TM. Salute to all the mods tonight for helping make this such an easy show. Salute to Daniel for producing. Salute to Tyler for getting the videos all together. Salute to you, Jeff. Great job tonight. Salute to Gamba. Salute to everybody. Salute to Jalen. Salute the entire team, man. Salute to CP for actually hitting a free throw. Salute to CK, man. Salute to CK for doing a great job on the play-by-play. If you haven't been catching that, make sure to catch CK when he's doing these play-by-plays, man. He's been awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. Man. All right, Knicks Nation. That's all we got for tonight. Make sure to tune in again. When is the next game that we got? When do the Knicks play
Sunday,
next?
man. Sunday the Suns.
They plays the Suns on Sunday. Look at that. So make sure to tune in for post-game live on Sunday when the Knicks face the Suns at 6 p.m. All right, everybody. We'll catch you later. We out.
Yeah, that's a fantastic.
Oh yeah, we dancing for CP making free throws. Let's go. Let's go. This is the stuff that we need. This is the action. This is what we need. This is what we need, people.
I love it. Damn, the 40-40. RIP. Some free throws were made.